Welcome to What's the Effort? Hello, everyone. Welcome. I am super excited today. I'm always excited, but super excited today. I have Kirk Tang with us today. And I'd like to say, Kirk, thank you very much for coming.
Oh, I'm honored. Thank you for having me on.
Well, I think absolutely 99, if not 100% of sub tours know Elena. but but I don't know how many know you, and I think that you might just be her secret weapon.
That's funny. That's how I tell people. That's how I introduce myself. I was like, "Hey, you know Elena Tang? Oh, I'm her husband."
There you go. There you go. That's just so cute. And yet, you both are very accomplished professionals, and I'm very interested in hearing your story as well as you can't talk about you without talking about your wife too. I mean, you're a couple, but I am very interested in you as an individual.
Yeah.
So, start us off. My understanding is that you weren't born here either, because neither was I. Were you in Taiwan, or was it? Yes, Taiwan.
Yeah. So, in the intro, I saw that you went to Taiwan.
I went
I
to Taiwan. I
forgot
have
about
students
that.
there. Yeah, I have students there, and I loved it. I just absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. And I still get comments on them, from a lot of them in Taiwan about whether, is America care about us? Does Canada care about us? You guys have to stand up for us. We're like,
Well, yeah. Obviously, Taiwan has a proud and history, and especially with America. So I was born in Taiwan in a little town called Hsinchu, which is basically like the Silicon Valley of Taiwan.
oh,
All
nice.
the tech stuff. So I think there's a lot of semiconductor talk right now because they're building a big plant out here in Anthem area in Arizona. Um, that's from Taiwan. That's kind of where I'm from. I came to America when I was about 7 years old, and my mom was a serial restaurateur and plastered the Northern California area, Chico, Redding, with fast food restaurants, and that's where I grew up. And I came here when I was 7 years old. If you want to do the math, that was 1988, so I was 7 years old.
So you were just a little bit older than me, but a few decades later. Tell me about the Chico Redding area, because I had lived in Davis, so I know that area
Ah,
somewhat.
yep, yep.
Um, and what kind of restaurants did she open up? Was it
It was just like Panda Express, kind of Chinese takeout fast food. So, all the regular stuff: kung pao chicken, orange chicken, fried rice, chow mein, stuff like that.
nice?
Yeah, Chico was fantastic. I love. I just grew up in small towns. It was a farming town. A lot of fruits like kiwis and walnuts and all that jazz. So I love small towns. I early on in our marriage with Elena and I had tried to convince her to move to Chico. I looked up this 10-acre plot, a kiwi farm, organic kiwi farm.
Wow.
So if that had gone the way I wanted, we would be kiwi farmers.
Hey, I love kiwi also. And it's interesting to see what was perhaps not native to this area can still become native
Mm.
because of the temperature. So yeah, California is the best when it comes to fruits and vegetables and things like that. There's nowhere else. I mean, I'm in Chicagoland, and and people here rave about their corn and the cheese. Of course, they've got it nailed on the cheese, but I think overall California cannot be touched when it comes to
There's
fruits and vegetables.
so much resources. We got the Sacramento River and stuff like that. So that was a
Yeah,
kind of younger childhood. And the fortunate thing is, I think a lot of immigrants, when they come, they kind of huddle in their community in the bigger
right.
cities. So because I grew up in Chico and Redding, like the whole mindset, the really integrating or what's the word? Yeah, just
Assimilating?
assimilating to the American culture was, you could say it was forced, but I took it up very quickly. So
Yeah.
um, yeah, I loved Chico, and then high school we moved up to Redding, and Redding's where
Okay.
you have Mount Shasta, Mount
Yep.
Lassen, Whiskeytown Lake, so a lot of outdoor stuff, things like that. So Foothill High School, Redding, California. Let's go.
Nice. Very nice. Now, you're a professional architect, and I love architecture. And I think that architecture is where art meets the science
Sure.
of, like engineering is important, but it can be very boring, and I think it's um, architects that are the artists and that bring it all together.
Yeah.
Um, and without artists, we would have a horribly, really ugh, bland world.
Right.
So I'm grateful for that. Can you tell me, were you always interested in architecture when
Yeah.
you were going through school?
Absolutely. So when I was young, I want to say around 10 years old, um, well, ever since I was young, I just drawing. I had a paper and pencil in my hand. That was always the case. I want to say around 10 years old, I started drawing floor plans. And I cannot recall exactly where I got the idea or formulated. Like, keep in mind, everyone that's watching, there wasn't Instagram or YouTube or e- even like magazines, like unless you purchase the magazines, like there wasn't anything for me to be like, oh, this is what a floor plan was. But somehow, one way or another, um, yeah, I started drawing floor plans, and I would ask people, what's your dream house? And then it wasn't until high school, I want to say my sophomore year, at a counseling session, um, uh, the counselor was just asking, like, what do you like, or what do you like to do? We talked about art and architecture and engineering and math, and she's like, you should take drafting next year. So I took drafting for the first time in junior year in high school, and it was just mechanical drawings of like 3D
Yep.
objects, side views, and we had the pencil and all that jazz. Like a
No
lot of
CAD
young
machine.
people don't know what I'm talking about, but you
Oh,
know,
well, yeah.
and I think after a couple of months, the teacher had a packet of like maybe 20 or 30 drawings, and that should last everyone like a whole year. And I had done it within like 2 months, and like
Nice.
I would keep walking up to him and go, okay, I'm done. And one time he just looked at me, he goes, what does your dad do? Do you have a brother that took this class? Like, he was just really perplexed. Like, why is this so natural to you? And so really, like, I'm not trying to sell myself. Three Drafting and architecture and 3D space recognition and stuff like that just came on very natural for me. I've always wanted to do architecture, and so after high school, I got into Cal Poly, and Cal Poly San Luis Obispo is known for architecture. I mean, I
Yep.
could have gone to Berkeley, I could have gone to USC, but I don't have that kind of money. I went to junior college and I transferred to Cal Poly.
Nice. Cal Poly is very nice. You should
Yeah,
be proud of yourself. I think that's pretty awesome. And I
beautiful,
think that,
beautiful city.
oh, yes, totally. I think that this kind of a skill set is something that is intuitive. I mean, I think it comes from within because, for someone like me who's not an artist, like drawing a circle, a straight line requires a heck of a lot. Um, but I know that, you know, uh, a little bit of the gift you have, just because my daughter has a little bit of that. And, when she comes into a room, she can tell you, that this was well done or not well done, and where the weak points are. Uh, I'm in awe. I am in awe. So it's pretty cool. Now, when you came out of school, what did you do? Did you start working for an architectural firm right away, or
After
how did that?
graduation. Yeah, so out school after graduation, um, so to pivot back a little bit, in school, I actually became Christian. I know, we're going to talk about real estate a little bit more, but Christianity has a lot to do with my journey, if you will. And so in college, I fell in love with Jesus, and I almost became a pastor. Went to seminary instead. And so
Wow.
that's why, to answer your question, there was some bumps in the sense of like, do I want to do architecture after, all my life? I was like, this is what I want to do. And then becoming Christian, I'm like, I want to be a pastor. I want to shepherd people. It was very relational. What's interesting now, kind of jumping to today, um, have you taken the uh Rosie's
Yes. Yes, I have.
the
And
traits or
yep.
talents?
Now you're making it push out of my head.
Ah, this is what happens to me. So, but
Yes, I have. And how did you work out? Just a second. Now I'm annoyed at myself, uh, because I moved some things around. Um, darn it. But yep, shame on both of us for not being able to remember.
yeah.
Anybody
So
remember Rosie's testing? Because I
yes.
had taken it 20 years earlier, before it was called that, uh,
Wow.
when I was at
So
UC Davis.
I hate personality tests. And so, the Myers-Briggs, the this and that, I've done it all and I don't like them. But this last one really built a lot of confidence in me
Ah,
because I'm relational. So my my top five, three of them are relational, whatever the categories are. Um, and that kind of makes a lot of sense for me now because, again, when I became Christian, I was like, it was all about the fellowship. It was all about helping each other grow. And obviously, if at some point we're going to talk about sub two and Pace Morby in the sub two community, I know not everyone's sub two, but in the sub two community, really Clifton strength, that's perfect. In the sub two community, that's really like what my our heart is like, how do we help everybody and shepherd everybody to, go on the right path. So, after graduation, I did contemplate, seminary, but ultimately I got a job at a local engineering firm. And they did high-end homes in Montecito and Santa Barbara. And,
ooh, very
know,
nice.
maybe I walked Oprah's house. I don't know. I'm not going to say.
In Mendocino, you said? Did you
Montecito,
say?
yeah.
Oh, nice. Beautiful. Oh, I love it. I love it. That is so cool. Why not say?
Well,
Leave it up to
maybe
mystery.
I
Okay.
did, maybe I didn't. I said walk. I didn't say I designed it or build it or anything. But it's my first job. I was,
I
I
hear
was,
you.
I
I hear
was
you.
low on the totem pole, so don't worry. Don't
Yeah.
worry.
Yeah. Well, now, I have some of your works. May I show them?
Yeah, of course.
All right. So I am going to share. Wait, um, if I can get this together. Yep. Some of, there we go. Some of Kirk's work. And I can't help but be, it really strikes me how clean the lines are and how inviting and um, uh, sharp they look. I thought this one was a beautiful one. Now, is this a build or is this a what do you call it? A rendering or an illustration?
Oh yeah, so this one's several of these are renderings. So this one, for example, is a rendering. This is an ongoing project right now. Hasn't started construction yet. We're still in the entitlement phase. Entitlement just means approval from the city, and you have rights to build this house.
Got
So
it.
yeah, really, like as a designer myself, we have our ideas of like, what's balance, what's good architecture, what we desire, but ultimately it's really a partnership between you and the client. And the client, with their budget limitations, like we can only do so much. So
Right.
there's a real partnership. So obviously, with clients that have deeper pockets, we can maybe do a little bit more, and some not, then we can't. But a lot of these projects are developers. This, for example, is a contractor. Wife is an agent, and they bought this piece of land, and they're gonna add to one house, and they're building a new house next to it. And this is
Nice.
in San Jose, California.
Oh, very nice. Very nice indeed.
This one
And
is
this,
under construction, and it's in Palo Alto, right off of University Ave. Next to Facebook, neighbors with all the corporate billionaires.
bells and whistles, all the bells and whistles. Look
Yeah,
at this. It's just so inviting. I love it. I mean, I
I
just want to go up to it and I can't decide if I want to feel the wood or the glass or the stone first, but
yeah.
it's just so awesome. And this garage,
It's a
I would
one
be
car
happy.
garage. Yeah.
I would love to live there. It's okay. Just give me.
So, but yeah, like with square footage prices around $2,000 a square foot. It's quite a bit. It's a very expensive area, and unfortunately, with how valuable land costs are, we could only fit in a one car garage. But it is what it is.
It's gorgeous, just gorgeous. I just love it.
So
And this is more.
this one's in Menlo Park. This is one of my first projects from start to finish. And
Nice.
this is when I met Elena. This is when we started dating. The cute story behind this one, I was struggling, kind of stress. We started dating. I was stressing out, and this is about 3,800 square feet,
Nice.
two stories, and construction. Oh, she just logged on. Construction debris and dirt is very grimy, and so like as you're finishing, it takes several cleanings to get everything clean. And we were dating at the time, and I was stressed out. I couldn't find a good cleaner. And Elena, she loves cleaning. She's very servant hearted. And
Oh,
she tells me, she was like, I'll clean it for you. So she, like, over the weekend, she spent the whole time cleaning the whole entire house by herself.
wow.
It was insane. So that was
So did you
definitely
go
like
shopping for an engagement ring right away?
right after that.
I think I would have if I were you. That's awesome. That's
And
wonderful.
I don't know if you could
What
pan
a
to my camera real quick, this scissor.
Oh, hang on. I need to stop share. Hold on so we can see it. Okay.
So
Oh, yeah.
when we sold that house, the developer and I was just the designer, just to be clear. When we sold that house, Elena bought the scissor for the ribbon cutting ceremony.
Nice. Oh,
So
she's
yeah.
smart. She's smart. She knows what to how to grab a piece. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, this one here has very much captured my imagination. I just think that to build on a hill like that,
Mm.
uh, pretty special. Now, I think we have a couple more on. This is the same property, right?
You haven't shared the screen.
Oh, well then, come on. Sorry. Sorry. That's what happens when I have to leave it and then I get back and I'm like, oh, sorry about that.
No, no problem.
There. So this one, it's just an amazing piece of property to be able to go right up the hill. And is this the same property?
It is. So yeah, I wish the final product had better pictures. I don't recall if there was drone images. Another
Mm.
hard part is again like, you have this vision for the design, and again you're working with the client, so it's a true partnership. But a lot of times after they're done finishing and they start buying furniture, and as designers and control freaks almost, like sometimes just like, I don't know if I could put that in a picture and put it in my portfolio.
Ah, that's so funny. That's hysterical.
And so, there's only certain images that I kind of kept. Even this one, if you look closely, they left a ladder next to the door. I'm just like, why would you like not get rid of the ladder when you take the picture? Anyway, so little
I
things
don't see
like that.
that.
Yeah, right there. Yeah.
Here?
Right there. Oh, you had it to the left, the orange and yellow. Hey, right
Oh,
there.
is that what it okay, I thought it was some kind of outdoor carpeting,
No,
and I
it's
did
not,
think
so
it caught
again,
my
so
eye.
yeah, it's
It
like
caught my eye,
move
but why
move the ladder, photographer. Come on.
exactly, exactly.
But this was a
Now
very fun project, absolutely. The engineer hated me because we had close to like 25-foot retaining walls in the back, and but the view. I mean, it's not waterfront, but the views are pretty spectacular. Yeah,
I'll bet, I'll bet. This is so beautiful the way it flows,
yeah.
and this is one of my favorite spaces. I mean, you are exceptional. But again, the garage or this, I'll be happy.
This definitely was one of my favorite spaces. It was just a hallway bath, and we were able to kind of squeeze in a sauna in the back, so that the whole basement floor could utilize it for self or
Yeah.
healthcare and
Well, yeah, and when you say basement, I mean, there's no way I'd know that. You can't tell. I
yeah.
love the way that this is curved, it's just so beautiful. It
And
looks
it,
so
and
inviting.
it's curved for a technical reason because you're heating up the sauna space, and I'm sure everyone's aware heat travels up. So if we had a 10-foot ceiling, it would just require that much more energy to heat up our head space. So if we
Oh,
brought if we brought the ceiling down, then it won't take as much energy to heat where we want it to be hot. So
I
yeah,
love it. I love it. And this kitchen strikes me as just like so cool.
it's
So cool.
very, very awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, very, very nice. The seating, everything about it just seems like all you need are beautiful people. I don't think I'd fit in here. I don't think I'd match in here, but I do really like it because I think it's very, very beautiful.
So two
So
things.
that's
Oh, can we talk about that kitchen real quick?
yes, I apologize. It clicked too fast. I'm telling you, my clicking abilities are not as good as they can be. There we go.
So for those that might not know, there's two additional items in this kitchen that's super fun. If you see in the corner of the cabinet underneath where the toe kick is, a little bit further up, sorry, at the corner of the cabinet, yeah, right there, right there. That is a toe kick vacuum. So you use your toes to prop it open, and it kicks on the vacuum, and there's a light, LED light that shines on it. And so when you sweep, you just sweep everything aggressively to that corner, and you could vacuum it up.
That is cool.
It's amazing. I love that feature. Another feature, because we're using stainless steel, this is shipped from Italy. The
Ooh.
stainless steel countertop island waterfall. That was a nightmare to put in. Because it's stainless steel, it's going to be cold to the touch. So we heated it. So it's actually we put in a heating mat within the install of it, and so you could put it on a timer, so the whole island would be heated, so it'd be warm to the touch.
Wow. I'm sorry, the things that you think of. I mean,
Yeah,
that is really, really cool.
yeah.
Uh, wow. Yeah, I guess if you want that clean, a metallic look, and then you also don't want it to be cold, you can have both. I
Absolutely.
think that is pretty cool. I also love the stools. The stools look like they were just meant to go
They
with
do.
everything.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Oh, hi, Pansy. Okay. So now please do tell me a little bit. I'm going to move us forward into when you guys were living as a couple. Were you in Cupertino? Is that where you were?
No, when we first married, we were in San Jose, and that was the first house I owned, seller financed. Um,
Oh,
and
nice.
yeah, and so Elena moved into that house, and we sold it and moved to Campbell, California.
Where's that?
Campbell's right next to Cupertino, right next to
Okay,
Los Gatos, right next to San Jose. Like it's like San Jose, Cupertino, Saratoga, Los Gatos. Like we're like
got
right
it.
in the middle. Yeah.
So you were working in your architect career, and Elena was doing her counseling.
Well, she was a social
Ah,
worker, medical social worker at the hospital, at the local hospital.
she worked at the hospital. Okay, as a social medical. Oh, good for her. Good.
Her
How
passion
did
has
you
always been,
ever? I'm sorry.
her
Again?
passion has always been to help people, uh,
Yes.
especially
Yeah.
the
There's.
young ones, the kids.
Yeah. How did you guys ever stumble onto Sub Two or Pace?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Elena has shared a few times, but we're I've always been an entrepreneurial mind, and similar to a lot of people that find sub two is like we always wanted to be an investor, and we maybe I even thought I was an investor, right? But come to learn, no, I'm in the service industry. I service the investors. So all my contractors, subcontractors, and investors that I work with, developers, they were doing it, but I was servicing them. And I think there was an eagerness for me to always want to do that. And whereas again, I'm not throwing Elena under the bus, but it was Elena that found Sub two. But prior to that, it was like, Elena has mindset issues. She needs help.
Hey, be careful, buddy.
Yeah, careful.
Don't
That's a joke. Calm down, everybody. It's a joke. But she
totally.
she grew up in a very conservative household where it was like get a W-2, get an engineering job, get the retirement, save, pinch pennies, all that jazz. And when we moved to Campbell, we bought the house was because it was a large lot. It was a large lot in California. It was a quarter acre. It's large,
That
okay?
is large in California. Yeah. Yeah.
It was a quarter acre. It had a main house and it had a attached in-law unit. So
Nice.
the entrepreneurial mind was like, let's do Airbnb. Very natural. It's right there. We house hack. We don't even house hack. It's already done. But to that conservative mindset, it was like, no, I want a steady stream of income. It's long-term rental. So even in
Mm,
that time frame, it was always like conservative, money pinch, not entrepreneurial.
yeah.
And we've always kind of worked on our family budget and retirement plans and things like that. And so after a few years of marriage, we're like, okay, let's hire a financial advisor. I think that's where it clicked for Elena, and this is what she shares, and this is more of her story than my story. But it's our story, but it's a little bit more her, and you would have to really ask her. But something clicked for her when we met with the financial advisor. He had done this whole analysis of all our assets and all our income, and it was like, oh, you're going to retire at this age. We're going to have this much. You're going to have this much money, and I think that was enough for her. Oh, this was like around COVID, like also around COVID, and also my sister had passed away, Elena is just reminding me now. Around COVID, but she passed away due to cancer, not COVID.
Okay.
Maybe that's up for debate, but around that time. And so a lot of the urgency of life and understanding, oh, we're going to, this overall life plan of like, we're going to retire at this age and we're going to have to put this much money away. And it just didn't suit her. She was at a job that she was helping people, but it was more for the money and insurance. It wasn't something that she's passionate about. And a combination of all that, she started researching Instagram, YouTube, whatnot. That's how we found it. And so Elena
for investing, or did she know that it was going to be real estate and that she was looking for real estate?
She was looking for real estate somehow. I'm not exactly sure. So again, this is something you're gonna have to ask Elena. But for me, from my perspective, it was okay. That was the journey we were on, and it was when she sent me a video of Pace underwriting. This video, I've been back several times. It was in his old office, relatively while ago, as in like 4 years ago. He was in the hallway with a big whiteboard and he was underwriting. And now that I could recall, now after gone back and reviewing the video, I saw Marlon Johnson there. He called these two other guys the Bash Bros. It was not Eddie and Tyler. So it was another set of guys that he called the Bash Bros.
That's funny.
I don't know who they are still. And then Debbie Lou was there. So it was that video. I watched it and I'm like, wow, a lot of the nuances and concepts I sort of had an idea, but the way that Pace, everyone knows the way that Pace breaks it down is like just clicked. It clicked. And Elena was the aggressive one in the sense of like, I'm signing up for this, we're doing this. And I watched the video, I'm like, sweet, right on. That's how we joined.
Oh, how wonderful. That is funny. I didn't expect it. I thought it would have been started from you. But I guess I was wrong on that one.
No.
And we've got her here.
He's here.
Yeah,
get your own time. Get out of here.
No.
I'm
Don't do that. Don't do that. So that is pretty cool. So you guys started relatively early then. You've been around for.
When we started, it was 2002. I'm not sure, but when we joined, it was around 2,000 students, 2,500 students.
2,500. Okay. Yeah.
Not Uncle Lanza status, but like pre 3,000 at least. October 2021.
Yeah, and I came in during the 3,000, and now I thought, wow, I'm last.
Well, it just hit 13,000. I think I saw yesterday. So
I know, and it won't be stopping anytime soon. It's going to keep growing. So it's pretty amazing, to say the least. But as Elena got more involved, and she's been such a cornerstone of Sub 2, how and why? Tell me about the decision to actually come to the Mecca. Because it's hot in Phoenix. Yeah.
Moving out to Arizona. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's a lot of stories.
Was there a lot of bribing?
Oh no. I mean, I think I would say ever since we were married, we weren't settled. There was a part of us that knew, okay, this isn't it. The San Jose, California, Bay Area, California isn't it. I think even like within 6 months, we had discussions of like, maybe let's move to Irvine. I at one point I looked for a job working for Disney World as a builder for Disney.
Mm-hmm.
So we had talked about moving to Orange County because her brother lives there. Her brother's family lives there, and we are both very communal, so we love the idea of living in community, living among people we love and building that community. Um, so again, that relational aspect was very strong with both of us. So Orange County, we talked about Orange County, and like I shared earlier, I even threw out the idea of opening up, or owning a kiwi organic kiwi farm in Chico, California.
Organic makes all the difference.
So yeah, I think there was always a heart for us to find a community and move there and be part of it and build it.
I see.
And we didn't know what that was. We thought, okay, maybe her parents was always a conversation in our talks. Her brother's always been a conversation in our talks. And obviously, um, my family would be hard because it's Taiwan. And we briefly talked about at least maybe living a couple of years in Taiwan. And Elena was even open to that. So I
It's a
think there was,
beautiful country.
Taiwan's amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. And so there's always been this unsettled uh, nature in both of us. And when we found pace in sub two and started to build this, or understand and build the relationships that we have, it was very natural to be like, hey, we want to come to the Mecca, we want to be closer to everyone here. So um, in essence, it was mostly that. Yeah, mostly that. Excuse me.
And I think
And
probably everyone in sub two has thought about, making a move to the Mecca, so to speak. Even if it's only been a flighting thought, I think most people have given it some thought. Um, so, that doesn't surprise me. And I'd love to be there too, but not when it's super hot.
absolutely, we'll find out. We'll find out.
Yes, I think you will. But how's it going so far? Are you liking it?
Man, we love it here. We arrived in September. Excuse me. We arrived in September last year, and at 7, 8 o'clock at night, it was still 110 degrees. So that was definitely a shock. It was a bit difficult for my kids. Every time we would go outside, they would go, "Why are we here? It's so hot." That was early on. They're adjusting quite well. We love it here. And I keep telling everybody that I meet, number one, there's a lot of people from everywhere. It's very
Yeah.
hard to find locals like that grew up here. Not hard, but they're a minority. So it's a very mixed crowd,
Yeah.
very friendly. I
Diverse.
think it's like it's just everyone's from all over the place. And number two, I feel like people are more content here. They're happy. I want to say they're happy. They're content. They're not as stressed out versus like what we experienced in the Bay Area. And partially the reason why we left was like, hey, we made pretty good money, but we were considered like low income.
Yeah, there's a
So
lot of money in California.
yeah,
There is. And
yeah.
it can be
So
disheartening when you're trying to just stay middle class. I get it.
correct. And so now being out here, it just the winter is obviously amazing. Um, and just the people are content and not stressed out. The Yeah.
Nice. Very nice. So what have you done in sub two in the way of real estate? I remember one particular Zoom, and I just we laugh at each other, and it just got my heart when Pace asked Elena to do some questions on some math. And she did the deer in the headlights thing, and she's like, you could see that she froze. And I was like, oh, I guess it's Kirk that does the math in the family. Or maybe it was just because she was put on a spot. But talk to us about what you have been doing in sub two in the way of real estate.
So
She
um,
admits it. I felt for you, Elena. I really felt for you then.
Yeah, I mean, hey, to start off, we're all on this learning journey. Yeah, I can do math, and I like math, and but man, I'm nowhere near perfect. Just to do some numbers, I think right off the bat, we bought like six houses within like 6 months of joining the mentorship. And
Nice.
to our benefit and to our advantage was, we joined early enough where there wasn't that many buyers yet. Okay. There was still quite a bit of wholesalers. Um,
Hmm.
it wasn't the no equity talk because interest rates were still pretty low.
Right.
I mean, we hold, I want to say we have like maybe 8 holdings of 2% interest flat, 2% flat, which is
Nice.
insane, right? And so there were equity still left in the sub two purchases that we purchased. So like, so the benefits were like there wasn't a lot of people, there wasn't a lot of competition. And
Yep.
Elena, literally the first 6 months, she was on the phone constantly. I don't know if this story's out there, but I I did not like pace the first 6 months of our joining sub two. Um,
I
We've
heard
shared
some
this
about
story before. Yeah, we've shared this story before, but I was just like, fuck pace, like all the time. It was in the sense of like I was jealous. Elena was Elena was talking and making these relationships and going to conferences, going to the mastermind. She she was out there and I was jealous. I felt left behind and I felt like I was um taking care of the family and taking care of our kids and stuff like that. Um, but again, like, understand that Elena is a fantastic mom and,
Oh, yes.
we have a great marriage, but it was like, hey, the focus was like, hey, we got to learn this. We got to do real estate. And so through those relationships, that's where we were able to buy so many houses so quickly. And
Are they
so I'm sorry.
single family homes?
Yeah, they're all single family. And so
Are they in one area or everywhere?
so that's another thing. Those are big lessons, right? So when we talk about buy box and knowing the market, like it's so quickly kind of like, oh, know your buy box and market. And even, for yeah, so the first mastermind, Elena kind of dragged me there. I literally like I couldn't I didn't want to go.
I really wasn't gonna be bringing Elena up, but I can't help it. She's just sorry. Oh, there we go. Too funny.
My wife's kind of feels the same. Oh, my wife. Sorry. I get that. I
Yeah,
get it, Ramon. I get it. But
yeah.
yeah, and I think Pace knows this. Like Pace understands that the spouse that's not involved will feel left out and will not like him. He knows it. But obviously, this is all for the benefit, right? So going to back to what Elena was trying to share through the text was my first mastermind. In the exit interview, I literally said Pace for the first 6 months. I was like, "Fuck you, Pace," and we had a good laugh. We had a good laugh. Well,
That
obviously, right, we all adore Pace. The Pace,
yeah.
Laura,
Oh, yeah,
my heart goes to their family because Pace works so hard.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, yeah, what was I?
So did you
So
buy local or did you buy everywhere?
yes,
Because,
so knowing your market and knowing your buy box is critical. Don't overstep that because what we did, don't learn from us. We jumped in. Yes, we jumped in and we just bought. Whatever came, we bought. And again, we were like, we don't know if another deal is going to come. So we just bought Tampa, New Jersey, Georgia, New Mexico, Alabama. So we jumped in all over the place and we had to get property managers in all different cities and it was just nuts. Um, so since joining, we've bought a total of 28.
wow.
We've fix and flipped two. We've sold one, or fix and flip and sold two. We
Mhm.
sold one of our holdings, New Jersey, because it was rented out for like a year and a half. The gentleman had passed away, and we were kind of learning, okay, let's kind of hone in on our markets. We're going to expand New Jersey anyway, so we
Mhm.
decided to let that go. Um, yeah, and now we're in the process of actually again cleaning up and really focusing on our markets. And our next focus is really here in Arizona. Now that we're here, we haven't bought anything here except for our primary house. And our next market that we're going to exit is New Mexico.
And where are you going to favor?
For now, we're going to focus on Arizona.
Okay.
So
Okay.
really, the Arizona is like let's understand our buy box. Let's
Mhm.
focus in our buy box. Through the first six purchases, we met an agent in Alabama, Monica Smith.
Okay.
She's with Kelly something, the agency.
Oh, I don't know.
It's a pretty big. Anyway, so Monica Smith, hi. She's our partner. Her husband David and Monica, they're one of our partners. Keller Williams. Um, she's an agent. So if you're in the Alabama, South Alabama area, reach out to Monica Smith. She's amazing. She's a unicorn agent, and we have holdings together. Um,
Oh, nice.
so that's another market that we're going to maintain in, but Arizona is going to be our main focus.
Why are you going to maintain it in Alabama? I mean, sorry to ask dumb questions. Is it because of Monica Smith and her husband, the relationship, or
Correct.
is it the market itself?
The relationship. So again, we're very relational. Monica and David are amazing. Yeah, we've done
Nice.
flips. We've done yeah, in holdings together. Yep.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I think that's a very important thing because you have to decide how are you going to grow. And I'm in a similar situation where I look at my relationships to grow with, not necessarily just a particular market. Although a market can be helpful, um, or it can be a little bit worrisome, like with Texas for insurance and Florida and such. But I do think that if you align with people and you're very upfront and you're really open and you have the same ethics and such, that's worth its weight in gold. I think that that's a very important thing.
Absolutely.
So I can see that what you're going to do is you're going to develop a better portfolio in the area that you're in. Do you think you'll ever go back to California?
Um, I love California. That's where I grew up. That's most of my life. Um, when you say go back, you mean like go back and live there?
Yeah, yeah. Have you closed the door on California? That's what I'm
No,
asking.
even moving here, we have a 5-year plan. We don't have the rest of our life plan, right? We have a 5-year plan. Obviously, our kids will have a lot to do with it. And so for us, it's like, well, let's be here for 5 years and let's see what the next step is. So I've never been too attached to homes.
Mhm.
I've always wanted to buy and live in it, minimum of 2 years, and go on to the next one. Um, obviously that's not ideal for kids. So a 5-year plan, I'm okay with that too. We'll stay here for 5 years, and if not in Gilbert or Chandler area, maybe somewhere else. I don't know, but
Got
I've always said that my retirement plan is to have a house in San Luis Obispo, Pismo Beach or San Luis Obispo.
it.
That's my retirement plan. That's what I would love, a beachfront property in that area.
Yeah. Yeah, very nice. You know where I wanna be, right? Monterey
Vacation.
Peninsula? No. It would be very beautiful, there's no doubt about it, but, Monterey Peninsula,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
in that area, which is also wicked expensive, but it's
Ah,
beautiful. Geographically, they're
beautiful.
just stunning for sure. Absolutely. So now, that you have moved there, are you going to build a team for your real estate, or are you going to hold on to like? what are you going to do? Are you going to go into architecture again? What are you going to do?
So yeah, I think overall, what I do want to do, especially here in the Arizona area, is I want to build luxury homes. That's my goal. That's my desire. It that's just I have so much fun building really fancy houses in Scottsdale and that area, this whole area. I mean, there's money here and there's some fancy houses, and I want to be um, part of that industry. That's the ultimate goal, and how to get there. I'm not sure exactly. My
Mhm.
thought was, we'll fix and flip our way up to that new construction as well, at least. And
Oh, nice. Nice.
yeah, but I was sharing with you a little bit earlier was I got a W-2. So I did get a job working for a pretty established architecture firm here in the area, and they just do high-end homes. And so I would love to build that company alongside them. And again, they one of the main things that attracted me to their firm is obviously the luxury home aspect. The other aspect is they also are looking into doing development for themselves. And so I was like, wow, this is
Nice.
perfect. This is exactly what I want to do. This is the exact space I want to be in. And so I'm really, really excited to join the firm and to start off there.
Wow, doing a development, that'd be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
What fun. What great fun. Wow, I'm so happy that you got that. Thank you, Jonathan. That's very nice of you to say. I wouldn't call myself a genius, that's for sure. But the name What the Effie is genius, and it wasn't chosen by me. I mean, I never came up with it. I just recognized it as being good. Sorry, on a side chat here.
Yeah.
How wonderful to be able to build, your career in an area where you guys can also build that community and family and your own real estate. I think that's pretty cool. That's
Yes,
pretty cool.
absolutely.
Yeah. Very powerful combination. And I think that, Elena and you guys are only, you're not limited. Is your creativity is what sets you free, as well as the relationships that you guys have. So I'm excited to see, where that will, um, the direction it will, how you guys are going to feel in another 4 or 5 years. It'll be very fun because this community is still going to be going, and who knows how many people.
I'm
I'll be like, "Hi, Kirk," and you'll be, "Who are you?" There's going to be so many people.
No, no, I'm very modest in the sense of like, I haven't done anything. I think that's a hard part for me is really getting on podcasts and doing YouTube and stuff like that. Is like, well, who am I? Like I, I'm nobody that's gonna really teach you anything. I make too many mistakes for that. But I am really, really
You say
excited. I
that.
don't know. I am really, really excited about the game. I don't know if you're going to ask any questions
Oh,
regarding
yes, I was, and I
and
and I almost forgot because you've been creating a lot of, um,
Buzz.
yes, exactly. Talk to us about it. I'm so sorry. You need to keep me in line. I got sidetracked with everything. So
No,
tell us about the game because that
yeah.
is real genius. That's
Um,
awesome.
the game, I'm really excited about the game. Obviously, I've been working on this for 2 years now, probably. I've played with a number of students, and there's been good feedback. And it's not Monopoly. People are like, it's like Monopoly. No, it's not. um,
It's it's about creative finance.
But the key to the game is really the verbal and negotiation aspects of the game. There is a board that you kind of keep track of your net worth, and everyone's out to create net worth or wealth. And you go through that by buying real estate. And everyone has an opportunity to buy real estate within each round and everyone gets to turn. But due to limited resources, as everyone's well aware, you could borrow, you could hire VAs, you could lend, you could do all sorts of stuff that we do in Sub 2
Real
and
life.
REI. But the game really is about JVing with people so that you can maximize and get in on deals. This is all verbal too, right? So it's really like, hey, Effie, will you work with me on this project? Or Ramon, will you work with me? Jonathan, how about I give you this and you give me that? So it's really about negotiation. What's really fun also is like, number one, a lot of the newer students that play the game, they learn all the little nuances of REI and it's like really new. And then they play the game and they actually like, oh, I'm buying stuff. And there's this visual of like that they could see for themselves, oh, I'm doing it now through the game. And they get a better picture of like, oh, this is what I'm learning in Sub 2. So there is an educational aspect. Another aspect is when you play with people that are quite versed in negotiation. Before you sign a JV agreement with someone, you might want to play the game because it also shows a little bit of people's characters and their tendencies.
You mean to say that there's going to be some backstabbing? My
So,
goodness.
do
I just see, okay, let's do a deal. Wait, here's my JV agreement. Sign it.
yes, so but play the game first, then let's JV.
There you go. Oh, I see. So you can learn about the person that you
Yeah,
might JV with.
yeah.
That's fair enough, man. That's fair enough. Well, I love it. Do you happen to have it on the desk anywhere? Could we
Yeah,
show it to us?
so it's sorry, right here. So this is
Oh,
not.
that's beautiful.
This will be redesigned because obviously this is the background of Pace's studio. We're not going to be using that, but this was just really I built a game because of everything I learned from Pace and Sub 2, and I put it in this compact format. And it's really homage to Pace because he teaches it so well. Yeah, and we're partners with Pace now, so we're hopefully going to have this in mass production and eventually sell it.
Nice. Have you
But
decided what will go in the box?
what will go on the box? We're working
Yeah.
on it. We're working on it.
Okay.
So we're gonna make it somewhat generic. Because if we could push it to Target, we could sell it at Target, we will. At least we'll have it on Amazon, right? But so I think there's a generic aspect to it that we're gonna try to fit. But obviously for our community, as I'm making these custom avatars, I'm like, I think I have close to 200 custom avatars at this point.
I know.
I have a lot of the members, I'm making these custom avatars for. But yeah, so these are the deal cards. It tells you like how much it costs, what it's worth. So there's exit strategy, short-term rental, wraps, fix and flip, and obviously depending on the exit, it would be a different entry amount and how much net worth you would get. And there's even multifamily for Vina. We got an A class over here, so quite expensive, 6 net worth. Whoa.
Did you consult with her on that first?
I should have, but I'm also working on a children's version, which will be more like a card game base, so simplified. And I'm working on a multi-family version for Vina.
Oh, what fun.
Yeah.
Oh, what fun. I think that's awesome. There goes pickleball. I do think that would be a lot of fun, especially when people get together.
Yeah.
And, but also playing with their own children and their own family to just sort of educate a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome.
I have played with the Sub 2 and non-Sub 2 students and, some people that aren't in the real estate game. So a lot of the conversations, like even if we're so used to ARV rap, like what's that? And so like kind of pausing to explain, like really, like you're really educating people that aren't in this space.
Yeah, I would think so. I would think so. Now, I want to make sure if someone wishes to reach out to Kirk, whether it's for architecture or for the game, or if you wish to try and bribe your way onto a piece, I don't know. It's right here, Kirk at Creative Housing Is that for company?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, company, yeah,
Dot
co.com.
com. So feel free to reach out to him in any way. You've been so wonderful in creating those avatars. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. So,
My favorite's Eric's taco.
Eric's, you know what? He's so good looking. It doesn't matter what you had him doing. You wouldn't take away,
Exactly.
but it's fun to see him being a little bit on the,
Silly
silly
side.
side. Yeah, for sure. So, Kevin says, I'm excited for the game, but we'll get a sneak peek at the Squad Up Summit.
So I'll leave it to Squad Up, but we'll have a presence at Squad Up. Elena and I will be there. I am actually going into New Reach Wednesday to play with the staff.
Nice.
So it's gonna be there. So go to Squad Up Summit.
Nice.
Sign up if you haven't, and please tell them that Effie and I made them sign up.
Yeah, I scared them. No, I'm just joking. Well, I'd really like to thank you again, and thank you to our audience. Now, announcement, because I have now, I think this is 43 or 44th episode. Yeah, I know. It's so cool. I took Christmas and New Year's off because I didn't think baby Jesus would appreciate it. And I thought, New Year's, who's going to come? But I'm also taking off next Monday. It is a holiday, and I'm actually going to be going, to a snow resort with my grandbaby and my
Nice.
daughter and my son. So let's see what she does at 14 months, 15 months. It'll be fun. So
Nice.
there will not be an episode next week, but the following Monday, we will be back. So I'd like to say thank you very, very much, and goodbye for now.